Yo, yo, yo! What is cracking? It is Offbeat in the hot seat, and I hope you guys are good. Happy Monday. It is Monday, isn't it? I think it's Monday. It's difficult to tell now. It is Monday. Yeah, cool. How are you guys doing? I hope you've all had good weekends. I am going to just crack straight on with the stuff I wanted to chat about today. It's a bit of a mixed one, really, because we're probably all feeling like that at the moment. Like, I've got some really cool stuff happening, and then we've obviously got the stuff that's happening in the world in the background, or not even in the background, like very much in the foreground, kind of overshadowing everything. And it's tough on your like mental health and just your general state of well-being. I think a lot of people are just trying to get on and sort of go about business as usual, but it's impossible because we're in this mental situation that no one's ever in our lifetime, no one's really ever experienced before. So it's I constantly find myself on like these ups and downs, and I've released a music video today, which I'm not going to plug now. I will do at the end, but that's been like I realised a real sort of like island of calm for me, like having that to focus on, having like a little project to just like keep distracted by over the weekend. Like, I've been working on it flat out over the weekend, and it's been lovely because I've just been thinking about that and focused on that. And it's kind of like, you know, when you break up with someone and they say like throw yourself into your work, that's kind of how I feel like I've been behaving this weekend. I've just been concentrating on that and putting all my effort into that, and it's given me this like this thing to focus on and to distract me from all of the madness that's currently happening. So like I say, I'm not going to plug it now. I will do it at the end, but that wasn't like a way of crowbarring that in. I wanted to share something with you that I've been doing for a while now, probably close to a year, and I've been doing it anyway. And as you guys know, I'm quite into my personal development, and I value like mental health very highly, and I've talked a little bit before about therapy and how I think like everyone should have therapy, and that it should be kind of like totally destigmatized and be the same as going to a gym, which we're not allowed to go to now. And something I've started doing about a year ago just to help with my general like mental health and fitness. And like I've said before, I don't think you don't need to be like really messed up or have like problems in order to improve or at least maintain your mental health. Like, just, it's like the gym, you know, you don't have to be overweight to go to the gym. You can just go to the gym to maintain your level of sort of like health and fitness. And I think you know, there's a lot you can do on a day-to-day basis just to maintain your general kind of mental health and well-being, but particularly at the moment that's super important. Excuse me. So I wanted to share something with you that I've been doing that helps me a lot anyway, and particularly now it's helping, and I'm hoping when I share it with you guys, it'll help you too. And that is journaling. So pretty much every morning, I don't do it at weekends, but pretty much every morning during the week, I wake up and the first thing I do is just write. And I've got, I just literally empty my mind, and I talk about all the stuff that happened the day before. And I do it in the morning because I tried doing it last thing at night, and usually by the time it's the end of the day, I just want to go to bed and I'm done. I don't want to write anymore. And when I kind of forced myself to, I found that I was like rushing it, or I wasn't really paying attention to it, or even that I was just so tired that like I couldn't articulate what I was trying to say. Whereas I am a morning person, so when I wake up, literally first thing I do, grab a cup of coffee, sit down, and then bang, write for about, it can be any amount of time, like anywhere between a couple of minutes to like an hour sometimes, depending on how much I've got to get off my chest. And I find it really, really cathartic and really, really helpful for like just generally expressing my thoughts and feelings. But there are also some like key benefits. Like, there are lots of benefits, but there's three in particular that I have found from doing it, which I want to share with you guys, and hopefully if you do it or if you try it, you might find the same things. So number one, I've got three. Number one is I find it's really helpful for kind of actually making sense of my thoughts and feelings. Like, I will often like feel a certain way about something, or have a thought about something which is quite vague, and it's sort of quite subconscious. Like, I'll just be annoyed about something and I won't even really know why, or I'll be kind of like feeling worried about something and not really know why, whatever the emotion is, and I don't quite understand the sort of the reason for it. I just have this feeling, and when I start writing down how I feel and like the events that have led up to feeling like that, usually I can kind of unpick the reason for it, and I can by writing it I have to articulate it, and it makes me think about it, and it basically like forces you to compose your thoughts, and then it's just a really, really good method for actually understanding the sort of like underlying reasons you're thinking and feeling the way you are. And it gives you clarity. I guess that's the word I'm looking for. It for me anyway, gives me clarity around certain situations. So often I've been able to like solve problems after writing something in my journal. So I'll sit down, I'll be like, oh, this situation's really pissing me off, and then I'll write why. And then it forces me to think more about it, and I'm like, okay, well, what can I do to fix this situation? And then I'll think about that, and then I'll write it down. And then it goes from being like this sort of vague emotion that you're just feeling to becoming a thought. And then once you've had that thought and you've put it into words and you've come up with a solution for it, you can act on it, and then it becomes an action, and then it becomes a real solution. Like, as long as you act on it and actually solve the problem, it goes from being like this annoying feeling that you don't even understand to being a problem that you've actually solved. So that's benefit number one, is that it basically gives you clarity. It helps you formulate your thoughts more and compose what you're thinking better, and that's really important. Number two, it's a really good like reference, not just for remembering like dates and facts and stuff, although that is a benefit of it. You know, like you might think something happened in June, and then you go back through your journal like, oh shit, no, actually it happened in May. Like, that's useful and practical, but it's not like a massive benefit. What is a massive benefit is it gives you a reference of how you actually felt at the time, because very often we remember things differently to how they were, particularly when it comes to emotions. So you might remember an event and remember it like either positively or negatively, and in actual fact that wasn't how you felt about it at the time. So having a record of that, you're able to go back and go, actually, I've remembered this totally differently, but at the time this is how I really felt. And that's really important, because it is really easy to change how you've remembered situations for your own benefit. Like, you kind of lie to yourself a lot of the time. So there might be situations, for example, where I want to have like a happy memory about them, but actually I might read back and go, actually, do you know what? It was mixed. Like, there were bits where I was happy, but actually there were bits where I was angry or I was sad. And it's important to remember that, because whilst it's nice to sort of have like a happy memory of something, if that's not actually how it went down, then it's important to know that, because that's the truth. And like, if you're unhappy about something then, and you remember it inaccurately, then you're going to just repeat the same things that made you unhappy. So that's number two, is having like an emotional reference and like a log of how you actually felt. But number three is, for me, this is the most important one, and it's the most beneficial one. Is it just helps me get shit off my chest. So I would say having a journal is the next best thing you can have to actually speaking to a person, and in some ways it's better, because like, even when you're talking to like a therapist, even if it's like an objective third party, at the end of the day, we're human beings and we want other human beings to like us. So if we say something or think something that's going to make us sound like a dick, we can still be reluctant to tell that other person. So like, I do have a therapist that I see, and there's still stuff that I would feel uncomfortable talking to them about, because I want them to like me. So if I feel a certain way about like a friend or something, and I just want to like get it off my chest, you know, there are things your mates or your family do that piss you off, and sometimes it's unreasonable, sometimes it's you, it's not them, it's like it's your problem, but that doesn't stop you feeling like that, and you want to get it off your chest. But if you say that to a friend or a family member, they're probably going to think you're a dick, or they might think you're a dick, and you don't want that. And even just saying it to like a therapist, sometimes you're just like, oh man, like, I know that this is my issue, but this is how I feel. And it's their job to be impartial, but at the end of the day, like I say, we're human beings, so we want people to like us, and we don't want to look like twats in front of people that we like or respect. So being able to just write it down and be 100% honest, even if you end up like throwing it away or deleting it, or however you've written it down, like, it is so liberating and cathartic to be able to express yourself completely honestly Because a lot of the time we don't. Like a lot of the time I walk around like with all this bottled up like emotion and feeling and never let it out. And some people go through their whole lives like that. And I think probably I was definitely at risk of doing that before I started this journal. There's loads of stuff that I would never say out loud to anyone. But like being able to write it down and having this place where I can just express it and get it out, even like I say, even if I throw it away afterwards or delete it afterwards, like just the act of expressing it gets it out from inside you and out into the world, and it feels incredibly cathartic and therapeutic to do that. So those are the three biggest benefits. Like I say, I think there are a ton, but those are the three main ones that I find. So just to recap, the first one is that it helps you like formulate your thoughts and your feelings and actually get some clarity around what you're thinking, as opposed to it just being like a jumbled up emotional mess inside you. You can actually kind of like form it into something more solid. Number two is that it's a great reference, both practically but mainly emotionally, so you can actually look back and see how you genuinely felt at the time, because quite often we remember things inaccurately, and this is a way of really knowing how you actually felt at that time. And number three, like I just said, is just getting it off your chest and expressing yourself and getting it out there and letting it go. And with the luxury and with the just we'll say luxury of like not needing to worry about what someone else thinks. So it's like having a conversation with someone, but without ever having to worry about what they're thinking of you, because you're just venting and just getting it out into the world, but without any fear of someone like thinking negatively of you or judging you in return. So those are the three benefits. There's a fourth thing I want to add, which isn't really a benefit, but it's like another thing that I started doing more recently. So I started journaling, like I say, about a year ago, and it's been incredible. But something I've started doing maybe 3 months ago, possibly a little bit longer, is starting to write down things that I'm grateful for as well. So I'll do my entry, and then when I finish that, I started off just writing down like 3 things that I was grateful for. And then like I'm grateful for a lot of stuff, so that built up quite quickly. I started doing 5, now I've started doing 10, and it's a really useful exercise to do, because it does make you value those things more, and it makes you not crave shit you don't need as much. It makes you crave that stuff less. So for example, like I might be not pissed off, but like frustrated about something material. I might be like, oh, I really want to make more money so I can get a car. Like, I mean, I've got a car, but like a nicer car. I really want a nicer car. Like I feel really frustrated because I haven't got enough money to buy a nice car. Like I should have enough money by now to do that. And then when I'm writing down what I'm grateful for, I'm like, well, I'm grateful that my family are all alive and well. I'm grateful that I've got a roof over my head. I'm grateful that I've got a car, even if it's not the car that I want, because without that I wouldn't be able to go and see my family, or I wouldn't be able to go to the courses that I go on that help me, that educate me and help me kind of pursue my dreams. Like I'm really grateful for that car actually, because it represents freedom. And then all of a sudden I don't actually care about the material stuff, about it being a nicer or wanting a nicer car, because I'm just feeling intensely grateful for what I've already got. And I'm not going to like try and quote anything, because I don't know anything about like Buddhism and stuff and like deep philosophy and stuff like that, but I know there are lots of quotes out there about like being grateful for what you already have being like one of the keys to happiness, because if you're always after something else, if you're always trying to get more, then you're never happy with what you've got. And there is a quote that I've got, where is it, up on my board, that says, remember when you wanted what you currently have. And I printed that out and stuck it up because that really spoke to me, because like there's loads of stuff that I've got now that I desperately wanted at one point, and now I totally take for granted. So for a perfect example being the graphic design skills and experience as a graphic designer professionally. There was a time where I was desperate to be a graphic designer, absolutely desperate, and I was like writing to every single agency in the city, like sent like 50 agencies letters, handwritten, like begging them to let me come and just show them my portfolio. I didn't even want a job, I just wanted to show them my portfolio and get some feedback, just so that I could like speak to them and hopefully win them over, and then if a job came up in the future they might consider me. And now I've finished being a graphic designer, or I had done until all this shit happened. Now I might pick up some freelance work again, but like I left my job as a graphic designer in July to go and start up my Airbnb business. And so like at that point I was taking graphic design totally for granted, and that job totally for granted. But there was a time when like I would have bitten someone's arm off to do that. So it's important to remember that like the stuff that you've got now is what was the quote? Remember when you wanted what you currently have. Yeah, so it's important to remember that like the things that you want in the future, you're going to feel about the same way as you do about the things that you wanted in the past and already don't like value or take for granted or appreciate anymore. Those things that you desperately want now, like the new car, like the I don't know, whatever, the new job, like at some point those things you're going to probably feel the same way about and take for granted. So just be grateful for what you've got now, and like try and be happy with what you've got now. So it's been really interesting journaling over the last few days, because I've been able to like document how up and down I've been, because like I say, I've been sort of like ecstatically happy at points because I'm like, oh, I've done my album launch, really happy. And then I see something on the news where I'm just like, oh, I won't even share what, but like stuff to do with the virus, where I'm just like, oh God, like my family, my friends. And then I'm like, oh, but me and Wolfgang have got a track that's just come out and it's just like got on a big Spotify playlist. Amazing. And then see something else, like obviously pretty much all the down low, pretty much all the low points have been related to coronavirus, but like either to do with like the health situation or the economic situation, where it's like, oh, I'm really worried about money now because X, Y, Z. So I've been like a proper yo-yo over the last few days, but having, as I say, that journal to document it all, not only like will help me to look back and like remember how I felt, and to kind of have like a realistic recollection or depiction of how it was at the time, which I think is important, so that I can like appreciate when it's not like that in the future. But it's also just helped me loads just to be able to get it off my chest now, because there have been times, like I'm going to say it, I've gone to bed crying a couple of nights recently because I'm so worried about like family members, and to be able to get that off my chest and write it down just helps. Like being able to just express it, and that helps. And like I could talk to people about that, and I'm not worried about people judging me, because like my friends and my family aren't assholes basically, and you'd have to be to judge someone for getting upset about something like that. And I think like 21st century, we're way beyond the like real men don't cry bullshit. I don't subscribe to that anymore, but it's still easier to just get it like off my chest and down on like a bit of paper and express it that way. And I probably will talk to people about it as well, but like to be able to have that place I can go to and articulate it in my own time, in my own words, has helped me a great deal over the last few days with everything that's going on. So I thought I'd share that with you guys. I hope that's some help, and I hope maybe if you don't already do it, that you could consider giving it a go. And like I say, just writing down how you feel, you'd be surprised how easily it flows out once you start. And then also, if you want to, as an extra, is to write down things that you're grateful for. And it's been really interesting to see how that's changed over the last week or so as well, because before a lot of it was sort of quite material. So it was like, oh, I'm grateful for having a house, I'm grateful for having a car, I'm grateful for having like money in the bank. Now I'm grateful that my family are all well. Now I'm grateful that I'm well. Like I've never ever really given like gratitude for my own health, because it's just something that I've totally taken for granted, because I'm like, yeah, I'm young, I'm youngish, I go to the gym, like I don't have any health issues, it doesn't even occur to me to be grateful for it, because I just take it for granted. Whereas now I'm like, oh shit, that's actually a massive fucking deal, I should be really grateful for that. And it's made me think about it and be more grateful for it. So there you go. A deep one. I don't know if you're expecting that or not. I know I've been selling quite hard last week, and then today I've been pimping my new music video, which I'll talk more about in a minute. So I don't know if you're expecting quite such a deep stream, but there you go. That's how I'm feeling at the moment, and I'm sure lots of other people are feeling the same way. And I'd rather be like real with you guys than sort of like put on a big jolly front if that's not how I'm feeling. So there we go. I'm going to open up the chat. I don't think there's that many people watching anyway, but let's have a bit of chat if you guys are around. So Octave says, "Ayo, what's up, Octave? Good to see you, man. Thank you for coming along." Pastel Pinky says, I expected more people here. Yeah, it really fluctuates, and it's difficult to tell why. Like, I don't know whether it's the time of day, don't know whether it's the topic of the stream. Maybe people want something a bit more lighthearted. Maybe it's the day of the week. I think like Wednesdays seem to be the best day so far for streaming, and I normally stream at about 6, so maybe this is a little bit late for people. Maybe they're having their dinner. Maybe they're if they're in the UK, maybe they're like watching Boris's. Actually, I don't think it's on yet. Boris's speech, because I'm pretty sure he's got some more great news for us. So who knows? But yeah, people come and go, and like I have anywhere between like 5 and 20 plus people sometimes. So yeah, it does fluctuate. But thank you for coming, Pastel Pinky, if you're still here. James Rodriguez says, "Hello, are we talking about coronavirus?" Yeah, a little bit. More about journaling and coping with it, but yeah, that's the main thing that sparked it. So yeah, I guess so. Cool. So I don't know if anyone's still there. I can see there's 3 people watching, but I don't know if you guys are up for chatting. So I'll probably leave it there, to be honest. What I will say is that I have released a music video today. It's very different in tone from this stream, which, thankfully. The music video is much more lighthearted. It's called Crapocalypse, and it's a story about me, basically, and the lack of toilet paper in the world. So, hey, Robbie, how you doing, mate? I'd normally be at the Rifle Club now. Ah, shit. Well, I imagine it's shut. Yeah, I was just saying, so I've got a new music video out. Obviously Robbie's seen it already because he's part of the supporters club, and I posted it in there this morning. But yeah, go and check it out. It's on my Facebook page, it's on my YouTube channel. I've just posted it to TikTok as well, and I've got no idea how it's going to be received on there. It's like the second thing I've ever posted on there, and I properly feel like an old man using TikTok, but that's something I need to get over. And it's on Instagram as well, so it's on all the platforms that I'm on. The video's out there, so if you follow me on anything, you should be able to find it. Crapocalypse, it's called, and it's an absolute hoot. Yeah, so that's it. I'm gonna bounce. Only other thing is I started my supporters club program last week on Friday. I launched it publicly, and it's filling up nicely. I've got about 30 people so far have joined. I'm looking to get to 70 as a minimum, because that's what I need to actually pay for the album. So if you're on the fence about it, please do sign up. You can go, actually I've got the call to action here, you can go to IamOffbeat.com/supporters, and it is just £5 a month, and for that you get access to an exclusive private Facebook group where I have been posting updates and preview of my video before I posted it anywhere else, so you get to see stuff first. But the main thing is I'm going to be doing live streams documenting every stage of the process of the album, so like everything from coming up with the idea to the lyrics to the beat, and actually like live streaming the session with Oddchap or Wolfgang, so you can sit in on that as well. I'm recording it, so you get to see behind the scenes every single step of the way, and all of that just costs £5 per month, which is an absolute bargain, I think. So yeah, if you're not sure about it yet, I would definitely check it out. You can cancel any time if it's not for you. Join and see if you like it. I'm going to be doing the first session tomorrow, so coming up with the ideas for the first track, which is going to be exciting. So looking forward to that. And yeah, that's it. I'm gonna leave it there, guys. But thank you for tuning in. Like I say, I do hope that the journaling tip helps some of you. If one person watches this back and does it, and it helps them, then it's worth it. So yeah, all good. Nice one, guys. I will catch you very soon. Take it easy, and in a bit. Peace.